Okay, there we are. Good morning. Oof, good morning, everybody. It's Alison from Engli-teach. Excuse me, we had a few tech problems there, so apologies for that. Hello, Tahia. Hello, everybody. So obviously the lesson today was meant to start at 8 o'clock, but as you could see, we were having a few problems syncing YouTube and Facebook streaming at the same time. But we are here. Okay, just slightly sort the hair out. Okay, so today's lesson, we're continuing on from yesterday. And if this is your first time here, go along to Engli-teach.com. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now, where you can open up a free access account and you can join in on our 30-day challenge, which is learning English for free for 30 days, okay, which is brilliant. And we have just started. So today is day number 2. So before I start, I just want everybody to know how it works. So you go along to the website, which was down here. You become what we call an Engli-teach member. So you have to register to join the challenge. The challenge is free. There are other options for paid classes, but the 30-day challenge is free. Now, the importance of having the Engli-teach free access account is you get extra resources, online assessments, quizzes, and all sorts of other great things to help you learn English. So yesterday was day 1 and we were talking about greetings in formal and informal English. Today we are going to be looking at writing emails, okay? Writing emails. And I think this is going to be really helpful. So just to recap very quickly, yesterday we were looking at ways to start saying hello to somebody. So what you can see here is all informal. So these are ways you would greet somebody if it was a friend or a family member. Okay, if you want to watch more of that or learn more of that, watch yesterday's lesson. And then we moved on to more formal English, knowing that greeting someone in English depends on the time of day, where you are, who you're talking to, and the purpose of your communication. There are 4 factors when you are speaking to people in English. And greeting, saying hello and saying goodbye, is dependent on those 4 things. It's not just whether it's formal or informal. So that's the extra kind of golden nugget. Today we are going to be looking at writing emails. Well, we're going to, not the full email, we're going to be looking at how we start writing emails for both friends and family and also for business. And I have an example of a very short business email. So let's put up here writing emails. Let's put starting emails. And good morning to everybody. Thank you for your comments. Thank you. So also, if you are already an Engli-teach free access user, you should see the Engli-teach 30-day challenge inside your dashboard. but you may have to re-register. So if you're having problems, go back to register, and if you can't see it on your dashboard, and then go back in. That's just answering one of the questions I've got here. Okay, so starting emails. Now, when English people write emails to friends and family, one, it's almost as if they're speaking to them, but English language has its own kind of vocabulary when you are writing emails and also when you're texting. It's not always how you speak, okay? So here is a really a typical example. I just need to sort this little bit out here. Okay. All right. So, hi. Let's put hi, Jane. Hi, Jane. Just pinging you an email to see how you are. Pinging is something, it's a vocabulary term, a word we use a lot in emails. I'm just pinging you an email to see how you are. And I know phonetically that's a really difficult word to say. Pinging, pinging, but we use it a lot. And one of the reasons we use this is obviously when you send someone an email and it arrives in their email box, they often get the notification bell that goes ding, ding. So this is why we say, just pinging you an email to see how you are, okay? So, and again, we would just say, hi, hi Jane, hi Jane. Now, if you didn't put hi and you just put Jane, and then you put your message below, it's not rude, it's not unfriendly, but it's what we say in English as a bit cold. It's a bit cold. Jane is quite direct, and it's normally the type of tone you would use if you were going to tell someone something they don't want to hear, or something not nice, or just tell them off. So I would avoid that. Put hi Jane, hi Jane. Would we put hello, hello Jane? Yes, you could put hello Jane. Hello Jane, just pinging you an email to see how you are. Would you put hiya? No, you would not put hiya. Whoopla, I just don't know what. Let's get rid of that. You would not put hiya. Okay, so don't do that. It's hi, hello. That's the best way. Okay, actually I'm going to leave that crossed up there. So the next way, let's just follow on from there. So entering into the email is really important as well, and this is part of the greetings. So the first line, or the opener, we call it, the opener in English. So I'm going to put that here. The opener, okay, is normally the first line. And this really sets the tone of the email and also lets the person reading the email what it's about. So it's kind of important. So let's see the type of ways you would speak to someone in an email if it was a friend or family. So just getting in touch, as I heard about your news. When's a good time to catch up? Okay, so just getting in touch, as I heard about your news. When's a good time to catch up? So catch up is a phrasal verb, which is really when's a good time for us to get together, to meet, or to connect on email or FaceTime or phone call. So catch up. We use this a lot. Can I catch up with you? When's a good time to catch up? Can we catch up next week? We use this a lot in English. So if you don't know catch up, then you use that and learn it and use it. Obviously, catch comes from the catch a ball, but here it's a phrasal verb, catch up. So there's a little extra bonus there. So let's move on. So just pinging you, just getting in touch as I heard about your news. When's a good time to call? Now, if you weren't very happy with someone or something, you might say something like this. Janet, can you give me a call? Now, remember what I said about this part here, the hi, hello, Jane. That's friendly. If I received an email and somebody wrote, Alison, can you give me a call? I'd be like, oh dear, what have I done wrong? Or, it's not very friendly. And you're actually, when you write like this, you're pre-warning someone that you're not happy about something. Now, often when learners of English are starting to write, they forget or they maybe don't know about using all the little pleasantries, the little words. And these little words change the infrastructure, if you like, of your communication. And you might be thinking, Janet, can you give me a call? Is perfectly okay. But when someone reads this, it can come across really, really rude and a little bit. And often you will see comments often of people saying, I misread your text, or I misread your email, misread. And they don't mean that they misread the words. They mean they misread what it meant. So the thinking and the feeling behind the words. So this is all part of English culture, really. Okay, now let's have a look at something that's semi-formal, okay? Semi-formal. So I'm going to leave those two up as examples, and now we're going to go on to semi-formal English. Now, this is quite an interesting point, because lots of people, when they're learning English, they think, oh, it's either formal or informal or not formal, formal or informal English, but there's kind of a middle ground, and it's what we call semi-formal, okay? So let's have a look at semi-formal. So semi-formal would be something like, hello, John. I just wanted to get back in touch with you regarding the conversation we were having the other day. And also, I'm just going to point out here, when you write an email, the layout of the email is such as it is in a letter. So in England, in English, we write in London, and most, I think America as well, we always do a setting on the left, okay? I know in Europe it's slightly different, because I lived in France for many years. It's very different. So we would put the writing all on one side. So we would put hello John here. We would put this on the left hand side as you write the email. So here, can you see we haven't used dear John? We've put hello, John, okay? It's semi-formal. Hello, John. I just wanted to get back in touch with you regarding the conversation we were having the other day. So we know that this is a professional, two professionals speaking to each other, potentially. They obviously know each other because we're using John. We're not using Mr. Jones or Mrs. Biggs. So they're two professionals. So you can use first names in kind of business English or more formal settings, if it's someone you know quite well or someone that you work with or collaborate with regularly, that's the semi-formal part of it, okay? So in a sense, it's formal English, but because you work with them a lot or you've been working with them or are working with them, so present or past tense, you would use John. If it's someone you haven't yet worked with and you're going to be working with them, if you call them John, that could be a little bit rude. For example, if people I don't know in business write to me and they say, oh, hi, Alison, and they write to me and I don't know who they are and I've never met them before, I've never worked with them, it puts me, as we say, on the back foot. It makes me think, that's a little bit rude. Okay. In French, they have a really lovely way of doing this. It's called tutoyer. So when you know someone really well in France, you can use the tu pronoun, which basically means you. When you don't know someone very well in France, or it's very formal French, just as a comparison, you use vous. And often French people will say, tu peux me tutoyer, you can tutoyer, you can use the tu version or form of language with me. So they give you in French a direct invitation to use less formal French when you're speaking to them. Unfortunately, we don't have that in English. It's an invisible connection that you have to kind of find your way through until you've learned to read the cues of the language. Okay, I just wanted to get back in touch with you regarding the conversation we had the other day. Excellent. All right, now I'm going to go on to a more formal email. So let's just get rid of this. Okay, so dear Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones. Dear Mr. Jones, do you know the song, Mr. Jones and Mrs. Jones? Okay, dear Mr. Jones, I am writing in relation to your call that we received last week. Now, this is obviously clearly formal English because we've put dear, we haven't said hi or hello, it's dear, and we've used Mr. or it would be Mrs. if it was a lady. Dear Mr. Jones, so this is the opener. This is you setting the tone of your email and explaining what this is about. So remember, I am a big stickler for English politeness, where I'm always trying to get you to remember that acquiring English as a language is more than just reading and speaking the words. It's about understanding the culture of English speakers. So I am writing in relation to your call that we received last week. And then you would go on to your second paragraph. Now I've underlined these words here, in, to, and we. Let's do that again. In, to, and we. Because I see a lot of work from students, and they're all quite often, unless they're really high advanced English speakers who've been learning English a long time, they're always forgetting these little connection words, and this really makes the sentence flow. I am writing in relation to your call that we received last week. They're such small words, but they are massive in the sentence structure. So please remember to use them. Okay, now let's have a look at another example. Dear Mr. Long, I hope you like my names. I had to make these names up. Dear Mr. Long. Okay. Dear Mr. Long. Let's get this a little bit tidier. Okay. Dear Mr. Long, thank you for submitting your proposal last week. So we don't always have to start with I am writing because, I am because. And in fact, when children in English schools are learning English for their exams, they're always taught never to start communications or paragraphs with I. So if you can try to do something a little bit different, then it will put you in a higher level English category. So, dear Mr. Long, thank you for submitting your proposal last week. We would like to accept it. Please state your availability for a meeting, please. Now, what I want to draw your attention to here, not only are we using obviously the dear and the Mr, but I want to draw your attention to the length of the sentences. This is a really typical email. Now, when you're writing emails, it's not like writing a letter or writing an essay. People don't want long sentences with double and triple clauses. People don't want that in an email. The idea of an email is that it's quick and easy to read and gets to the point politely. This is why they are used in the business world a lot. Business people don't want to read an email that's like a 4-page letter. So remember that. So these sentences are very, very small clauses, very small. We've got one here. Thank you for submitting your proposal last week. We would like to accept it. Please state your availability for a meeting, please. It's 3 sentences, tiny sentences, they're not long. Kind regards. And then obviously this isn't kisses, this is the name. So kind regards, Mr. Long. Okay, now you could put kind regards. You could also put yours sincerely. Okay, yours sincerely. You can also use that. Okay, thank you. Just reading the comments. Thank you very much. All right, okie dokie. So, any questions? If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I will have a little look at them and get back to you. Okay, I'm going to go on to my final example, and this is a biggie. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a little email from Mrs. Rush. Mr. Long, Mrs. Rush. You've got to make these things fun. Okay, I'm going to remove the informal headers at the top now. So, dear Mrs. Rush. Let's just get this nice. Dear Mrs. Rush, I am writing to thank you for your application for the vacancy of sales assistant. Okay. I would like to invite you for an interview. These are the times I have available. And obviously, because of the screen size, I am going, actually, let's just, okay. I'm going to try and reduce it without affecting the layout, because I want you to be able to see the layout so that you know how to correctly write your emails. So, dear Mrs. Rush, I am writing to thank you for your application for the vacancy of sales assistant. So, in the opener, remember I said in the opening sentence, mini paragraph, because we don't really do big paragraphs in emails. In the opening sentence, you are clearly saying what you are doing. And notice here, I've put for the vacancy of sales assistant. It's not the vacancy of the sales assistant or a sales assistant. We don't use the indefinite and definite article here in this type of English. It's literally sales assistant, okay? It's formative English. I would like to invite you for an interview. Again, look at the size of this sentence. It's small, okay? It's small and concise. Concise. These are the times I have available. So Thursday, 10 a.m, Monday, 3 p.m. Now I'm just going to move this up so you can see. Here we go. Oh, I might have to do this a little bit smaller. I hope you can all see. Okay. Let me know if you can all see. I want you to all be able to see. The interviews are to be held at our offices. Please reply stating your preference. Again, look at the size, the length of the sentences. They are very small. They're 5-6 words each sentence at the most. And the email really works like this. So, and again, we've used dear Mrs. Rush, dear and Mrs. because this is a formal email. We're writing to somebody about a job, about employment. So there we are. So, do we have any questions? Hopefully that has been very, very helpful for you. I've got somebody asking about the sincerely and the kind regards. So let's have a little look at that. So I'm going to just take this part off so we can see the ending. So yours sincerely, and then underneath here you would put your name. Yours sincerely, Mrs. Bollum. Yours sincerely, Mrs. Bollum. So is it yours sincerely or is it kind regards? Which one is right? Okay. Now, if you're writing a letter, an email to someone and it's formal English, so business English, or someone that you don't know, you would always use yours sincerely, okay? Professional business English, yours sincerely. Or someone you don't know. If it's, you wouldn't use kind regards in a business email unless you had had a couple of communications with them and you had really understood that you could be more familiar, as we say in English. So let's just say you were going for a job for a nurse, for example, and you'd had 3 or 4 interviews, which is quite common in lots of professions. You might have to have an opener interview and then another interview with the board and another interview for capability or something like that. So let's just say you've had a few meetings or a few emails and it's been very positive. Then the person writing to you might then use kind regards, which is showing an element of kindness and a little bit of familiarity whilst still staying staying polite, and also keeping your distance. So that's also very important as well. And then you would put Mrs. Bollum. You wouldn't put, Jane or Tom. You wouldn't do that. You would always use the Mrs. Okay. There we are, everybody. So I hope that was really, really, really useful for you. If you have just joined, go along to Engli-teach.com. I see some of you have said, yay, I've signed up, because we are doing, at the moment, a 30-day challenge, which is what we've been doing here, a 30-day challenge to help people learn English as much as possible in 30 days. So this challenge is really for intermediate, good beginners to intermediate levels, because we're doing business English, we're doing a little bit of IELTS, we're going to be doing obviously grammar in every lesson, and more advanced English to help you kind of get to the next level. So there we go. Right, I'm just going to have a little look at the comments. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So Ahmed says, where do we register? For the 30-day challenge, you register on the website, which is www.engli-teach.com, as I've put up here. There we go. Go along to the website and register, and as soon as you open up your free access account, I might have to switch it off and on, your free access account, you get access to the challenge. Okay, so you need to really be making sure that you open up your free access account. Okay, everyone, yesterday's lesson was all on greetings, and there was a little quiz. I'm going to be going back into that in just a moment to see how everybody did. So obviously I can see everybody's results. And because I know some of you learning with us and joining in the challenge are slightly more advanced beginners to intermediate, the quiz, I've put a timer on it. So it's not something where you can just go and look up the answers. So how this works is that you obviously attend the live lessons on Facebook and YouTube. They're streamed to them both. And we also have extra little lessons inside the 30-day challenge. And then we do a quiz at the end of most lessons, and they're timed quizzes, to see how much you've remembered and how much you can put into practice. And the idea of this as well is to heighten your reading and writing in English as well, because the questions are being asked using intermediate to advanced level English to help you to really start to develop your English more. So it's not just about getting the answers right, it's about understanding the questions too. So if you want to be studying for your IELTS, for example, getting the right answer is dependent on understanding the question correctly. So this is a great way to start. Now, obviously, greetings for some people are quite easy, but we are going to be getting harder and harder, and the course is going to get more challenging in the 30 days. Now, don't worry if you can't do it all, okay? Because it's a free challenge. We want to help as many people as possible. So we've got different levels in there. It's not for beginners, the challenge. It's not for beginners. It's really for intermediates. Okay, so I want to join this challenge, but I don't know how to sign up. Wince, you need to go to Engli-teach.com and just register. I just explained what you need to do. So have a little look there. Namaste, namaste, Kilpatari, thank you. Usman Rashid says, is it okay to use please twice in a sentence? Please reply with your preference, please. Please reply with your preference, please. You can do. Yes. But it's probably better if you don't. I put please reply stating your preference. If you look at my example that I gave, I'm going to go to here. So the interviews are to be held at our offices. Please reply stating your preference. Would you add on another please here? Not really. Grammatically, it doesn't, it's not 100% wrong, but you don't need to say please again because you've already used it here. If you want to, you could put reply stating your preference, please. You can reverse engineer the sentence. However, it's much politer to write it, please, please, put the please at the beginning. Please reply stating your preference. Please reply stating your preference. Okay. All right, so thank you, I've answered that. Omar, that's a sweet question. I'm not quite sure with whether I'm married or not there's any relevance to our English classes, but thank you for the question anyway. What is the meaning of catch up? Okay, so what is the meaning of catch up? So catch up is a phrasal verb, okay, catch up, and catch up is when you want to either meet up with somebody to get up to date with something, I think is probably one of the best ways of explaining that. So catch up is when I'm just going to put getting up to date with something. So this could be two friends catching up. This could be a student catching up with their homework. Let's have a look at some examples. I need to catch up on my English homework. I need to catch up on my English homework. Okay, you can use that phrasal verb in this type of sentence. You can also use it like when's a good time to catch up with you, as a question. So when is it good to meet up with you and have a talk? Employers quite often need to say we need to have a catch-up meeting. We need to have a catch-up meeting. so that's how you can use it at work. However, lots of you can instead of it saying catch up, actually, as in a business meeting, you would say development meeting, to see how things are developing, to see how things are progressing. Okay, all right, okay, excellent, well done. All right, everybody. Woo, that was a 40-minute live. That was very long. I hope that's been really, really useful. Tomorrow, don't forget, it's day number 3 of the challenge. So every single day in the challenge, in the Engli-teach free access account, extra information is added. So at the start of the challenge, it doesn't look like there is much, but after every lesson, we add in the resources. So go along and have a little look. Until then, I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Saturday, everybody. Goodbye.